Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 books that have impacted my life the most over the last 10 years and have changed my life in some way or another. So let's get into it. My name is Dane Camella. I am a corporate technology professional as well as someone who makes videos on the internet. And if you want to see more videos like this where we talk about life, career, personal development, performance tips, go ahead and click subscribe so you can be tuned into all the future videos that come. And as we go into each one of these books, I'm gonna give you kind of a timeline of when I got exposed to the book and how that actually impacted me, when that was in my career. For these 3 books too, one of them might work for you, all of them might work for you, but again, there's so many different resources and books out there. Some of them make a difference, and then some of them we pick up and put down and they did nothing for us. So hopefully at least one of these books, if you haven't read it, might do something for you on your journey. Book number 1, Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuck. This book has such a special place in my heart. Many of you probably know who Gary Vaynerchuck is. Very outspoken, just entrepreneur, hustle, 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 grind, all these other things, but really just preaching, helping people find what it is that they're passionate about and just going all in on that. The reason this book is such a special place in my heart is because I read it in 2010. And in 2010, this is really when social media and all of this stuff was blowing up. I didn't have a YouTube channel. I didn't do any of these things. I was actually not someone who ever thought I would get behind a camera and start making content. But after reading this book and figuring out how to actually just start going through that process, I started a YouTube channel, and this is where this stemmed from. Gary was the catalyst that just shifted my mindset to just challenge me to say, hey, maybe you should try this, Dane. Maybe it might lead to something. And you know what? It led to something that was so passionate to me, and now a vision and mission that I have for my life just from picking up the camera every single day and creating some piece of content. I was not an expert at being able to communicate and being able to come across authentic. It takes time, but Gary Vee was really the person who inspired me to do that. And in his book, that's really the overall theme, is how to cash in on your passion, how to turn what it is that you like, whether that's video games, whether it's day trading sneakers like he talks about, or any of those other things, taking that and turning that into something for yourself. So this book has such a special place in my heart. It was so impactful at such a pivotal time when I was 18, and it's taken me down this journey to creating content, having podcasts, and just really doing what I love, even if it's not my main thing, because I am a corporate professional. I work for a technology company. I love my job, and some of these books have helped me figure out how to do that as well too, that we'll go into. But Gary Vee, can't recommend him enough more. This book is awesome. Go check it out, and it's called Crush It. Book number 2, Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins. I'm sure if you're a fan of the personal development space, you've heard of Tony Robbins. Some people think he's just a hype, motivational person, but I can tell you right now, being someone who's read hundreds of books in the space of personal development, this man has impacted my life the most. Tony goes deep on the psychology of why we do the things that we do. He's studied this forever. I mean, he's worked with some of the biggest people in the world, from celebrities to business tycoons, and his content and the context of what he talks about and how he helps people has been the best things, some of the best stuff that I've ever been able to go through in my life as a young professional. One of the things that has impacted me the most in his teachings is the ability to control your state through movement and words. And Tony doesn't just talk about the high level of, hey, stay positive, stay happy. He goes in to teach you how to actually control your state, how to demand and have high energy. And I will say, Tony is probably the biggest person who helped me continue to create and foster a state, or a peak state, if you will. He talks about that, where I have tons of energy all day. You can talk to a lot of the people I know. I have a lot of energy because I've been able to work and condition these things, because again, it comes down to the work. It comes down to speaking and moving in the right way. He is very big on these types of things, like how you stand, how you speak, what you say to yourself, how you move your body, incantations, all of these other things. That's good. That goes so deep. Another thing that helped me a lot too was this framework where he talks about the human needs. It's basically human needs psychology. You can go ahead and look that up. That had a big impact on my life as well, because it helped me understand what were my biggest human needs, and then how to actually go and foster those more, but then also figure out the needs that were maybe not as important to me, and see how those were being figured out in my life too at the same time. There's so much to learn from Tony in just what he talks about from the psychology mindset. I think he's one of the best teachers on the planet. I mean, he's worked with some of the biggest people in the world. You can YouTube him, you can find out a lot of things. I will share a couple quotes that I really like that have always stuck to me and still stick to me today when it comes to just thinking about Tony Robbins. One of them is, the quality of your life is is determined by the quality of your questions. So you want a better quality of life? Start asking yourself better questions. That's one of my favorite quotes from him. Another one is, wherever your focus goes, energy flows. So Tony is big on teaching people how to direct their focus, because again, whatever it is that you are focusing on at the specific time is going to create some type of feeling, good or bad. So he's really good at understanding how to engage your emotions in the direction that you choose to help increase the quality of your life. One other quote I will give you from him that I really like as well too is going to be, emotion is created by motion. One of the biggest things Tony teaches about is how to move your body and create energy. And that starts from what you're actually doing in your day-to-day. I mean, if I was sitting down slumped like this going, hey guys, super pumped to talk to you about these books that have inspired my life, I already feel different, right? And he teaches you about how to harness your state, and it all stems from motion, moving, putting yourself in a good peak state. He teaches so much about that. Incantations, speaking what you want, affirmations, all of those other things, and then deeper things when it comes to the human needs, what's most important to us as individuals, whether that's certainty or uncertainty. And again, I don't want to go into all of this. This is just a video on some of the books that I've really liked, but this has been probably the biggest person who's inspired me early on in my career to really understand how to get what I want in life and how to keep an amazing state as you're going through life too, as a young person. So I highly recommend Tony Robbins. I mean, I even went to a seminar. That's just how much I believe and wanted to go deeper into the things that I was learning. So that's book number 2, Awaken the Giant Within. Book number 3, which I'm extremely excited about because this is the most recent book in my life. I read this in 2019, and again, it works really well with some of the stuff that Tony teaches, but again, every teacher is a little bit different. They have frameworks that they teach that either resonate with you or not. And this one was so powerful for me, and it's the values factor. You might have never heard about this book before. It's written by a man by the name of Dr. John Demartini. He is a human behavioral specialist, similar to Tony in terms of the work that they do, helping people basically get what they want out of life. I guess that's a high level way to say it, but I read this book in 2019, and it dramatically changed my life because of some of the principles that Dr. John Demartini talks about in the book. I'll go into a couple of them because it inspired me so much. I had the opportunity to go to one of his workshops. I don't attend a ton of personal development workshops because a lot of personal development books are just kind of woo-woo. Hey, think positive thoughts, things of that nature. But when you find a teacher who really understands what they do and they make change happen for the individuals, I want to go learn from them more. I was able to actually go to Dr. John Demartini's workshop called The Breakthrough Experience. It was amazing. I got to go deeper with the material, and even more importantly on top of that, I got to interview Dr. John Demartini, which was extremely exciting for me. That is on this YouTube channel. Maybe we'll link it up at the end where you can click into and watch that if that's something you want to learn about. A lot of people don't know who this man is, and he has some of the best teachings out there. I'll go into a couple things really quick too, because this is just what's impacted my life most recently. I attended this workshop in 2019. So one of the things he talks about is our highest values as young people, or again, people just in general. He talks about we all have a set of priorities, a set of values that are most important to us. And when we're living within those values, that's when we feel the most alive in our lives. When he talks about values specifically, I'm talking about things that are specific to what we do every single day. So if you're thinking, Dane, what are my highest values? He actually has a process you can go through. I'll link that below. It's free, as well as it's covered in this book if you want to go through it. For myself, my highest values, I'll give you them really quickly, are personal performance. That's the most important thing to me in my life. Like, I love getting better. I love understanding how I can perform better when it comes to my health, when it comes to my mind, when it comes to learning, creativity, creation in any way that you will. That's my highest value. And you can tell, or I can at least figure that out for myself, because I spend a lot of my time. So you can look at your day and you can ask yourself, what is it that I do in a day? And he goes through this process. It's a questions process to help you find your highest values. And then a couple of the other ones that are my highest values are going to be creating and learning. So creating content as well as learning. That is such a high value for me. That's why I do it every single day and every single week in some way, whether it's YouTube or a podcast, as well as career is super high on my values. Family is super high on my values, as well as finance, wealth building, business. Those are my highest values. And you might ask yourself, how do I figure that out? Again, look at what you do in your day, because that's going to show what are the most important things for you. It goes deep into the book, and he also has a free resource on his website so you can figure out what those highest values are for yourself. That's the biggest thing I learned. And again, it was a framework that just resonated with me, and it helped me crystallize some things I already knew deep down, unconsciously or subconsciously, that I got to just bring to the full presence of my awareness, which I think is the most important thing. The second thing I learned from Dr. John Demartini that really stuck with me was balancing your perceptions. And what I mean by this is looking, like, every situation that happens in your life, good or bad, there is good things and bad things in it. And whenever we find ourselves just focusing on like one-sidedness, like I'm infatuated with this because it's new, it's recent, and it's novel, and it's exciting, what we're actually doing is we're blinding ourselves to the downsides of this situation and this event. Open yourself up to seeing the good and bad in every situation, balances it for yourself. I know this is kind of deep, but this process was so powerful for me to see, because now every event that happens in my life, good or bad, I can take and I can reflect and I can pull out, okay, how is this serving me? If it's bad, how is it also serving me? What is it setting me up for? Back to Tony Robbins, quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Dr. John Demartini says this too. How is this serving me? And then what else, like, what is the negative side of it? What's the good? So looking at that, this could be even in your relationships when you meet someone. You see all the good sides, but being able to balance the other sides, the things that maybe are not as appealing to you, will help you have more balance, because that's what our brains are constantly trying to do. We're trying to create that equilibrium, homeostatic state, if you will. So he's very good at being able to show you how to do that. And that was something that meant a lot for me and just helped me continue to refine my personal growth and my mindset going forward. That was huge. So I highly recommend, again, checking out his book. The last thing I'll say in regards to values, because that's the biggest thing he teaches, because again, if you're pursuing your highest values, you're inspired to get up every single day. You're passionate about what you're doing, and you're living kind of within a vision or a purpose for yourself. I told you guys about my mission statement. It aligns with my highest values and what I get to do every single day. So if you're someone who's trying to figure out what's my purpose, what am I passionate about, this is a great way to start, to just define what's most important. What are the priorities that you really care about in your life? So I can't speak more highly of this book and of Dr. John Demartini's materials. He has so many free videos on YouTube. Go check it out. You don't need to go to the workshop, but this man has dramatically impacted my life. So this book I can't recommend more. The Values Factor by Dr. John Demartini. So that is going to be the 3 books that have impacted my life the most over the last 10 years. And I highly recommend them. I highly recommend that you check them out. Go Google it, go Amazon them. I mean, spending $5 to potentially change your perspective, your mindset, is totally worth it. I'm a huge book fan. I hope either one of these books can make an impact in your life like it did for me. I have a question for you. What is the book that has dramatically changed your life the most? Leave a comment below. I'd love to know. I'd love to dialogue with you, and maybe even find a book that I haven't read that can inspire me to another level too. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see more videos in the future. Look forward to seeing you again soon.